We're doing it right down.
Okay, we'll start tonight's meeting with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, thank you everybody for coming tonight on election night.
Moment of silence, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Bender?
Here.
Mrs. Hoover? Dr. Krug?
Here.
Mrs. Krug? Here. Mrs. Lieb? Here. Mr. Rocco?
Here.
Mr. Basil? Mr. Westrick?
Here.
Ms. Zenshaw?
Here.
Okay, no one signed up to speak, so we'll move right into the administrative reports. Superintendent.
Thank you, Dr. Krug. Try to be brief tonight. First of all, I want to congratulate the boys baseball team for beating Hummer Center by a score of 9-3 and winning the Heritage Conference Championship. So it's really nice to be working in a school district where there are championships a lot. I'm used to not having that situation be the case, so very refreshing to come work in a school district where the teams are winning. But that's a wonderful thing for the community and for the school. So congratulations to the boys baseball team. A reminder that commencement will be held at the Mount Aloysius Convocation and Wellness Center. That'll take place on Friday, May 30th at 7 p.m. I continue to work on the application for school reconfiguration that is due before July 31st and is not accepted prior to June 14th. I had previously given this board and the community some bad info to the effect that we will be looking at a two-tier system, pre-K 6 and, pre-K 5 and 6 to 12. I'm almost ready to do it again. It really is actually going to be pre-K to 6 and 7 to 12. And to just repeat my comments from last month, the change in configuration is really predicated on the reduction of administrative staffing numbers and the need to establish teacher supervision and evaluation numbers that are equitable, as well as providing for PVOS and other accountabilities. I'm still working with the reconfiguration forms. That does have to be voted on by the board, so we will see this again at the June meeting when you all have a chance to see the reconfiguration forms that you'll be asked to vote on. But again, I want to emphasize reconfiguration is not about changing any programs. It's really just about assigning official accountability for a school. And we had 3 schools and 2 administrators. That's more problematic. So it's really designed to give us 2 roughly equally sized units with 1 administrator in charge and accountable. And that's really what the configuration is about. I want to say a few words about the dust collector that we've had some ongoing conversations about. We had some good news late last week. Mr. Smith was able to get the dust collector connected to electricity and was turned on, and I understand it worked and even sucked up some dust. So that's better than what we had expected. So we may have a working unit on our hands. One thing that's clear is if we intend to continue with STEM and fabrication programs that are in place at the high school now, we'll need to have this equipment of some kind in operation. I did visit the fabrication shop areas at the high school last week, and we have a lot of equipment that's either been planned to move or has been purchased with the idea of being moved that will require some kind of dust mitigation system. And we have radial arm saws, planers, sheet metal brakes, belt sanders, precision saws, drill presses, a CNC milling machine. There's an Amatrol mechatronics trainer that I've never even actually seen before prior to coming here. Heard about them. MIG welders and a number of other things. I don't want to give you a rundown of all that, but we really will need to accommodate that. I think at the very least it would make sense at this point to go ahead with the plan from Effective Controls to come out and have the system that we have already assessed, diagnosed, and we can be told what we would need to do to make it operational. We are thinking and hoping it may only be a matter of getting new filters in place in the unit, and then it should work adequately for our needs. But that's what we're looking at next on that. And actually, Dr., that's all I have to report this time.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Business manager.
Financial report, the treasurer's report for the month of April. Our beginning balance as of April the 1st was $111,231. Our local sources of revenue were the earned income taxes, $61,200, transfer tax of $5,662, and delinquent real estate taxes of $5,407, for total local revenues of $72,328. Our state and federal sources, the basic the BEF was $1,345,219. And just a note on that, when we get our BEF, we have, and it has been that way since I've been here, the basic ed funding is reduced by our charter school costs. So charter schools get paid directly from the state, and they take that money out of our basic ed funding to pay those bills. So that's what less withholding means. That's the net amount. The Medicaid is $36.42. Pre-K counts, revenue was $16,800. Title funds were $24,711 for a total of federal and state funds of $1,386,766. Other revenues were miscellaneous, $10,210, interest of $50. There was a transfer from our Pliget accounts into the general fund of $1,100,000, and a retiree contribution towards medical insurance of $1,100. Total miscellaneous revenues of $1,111,359, which leaves us with an ending balance of April the 30th of $2,681,686. The other expenditures and transfers out are listed there. Pliget, the general fund balance at the end of the month of April in our Pliget funds, the investments is $1,757,983. Capital reserve, $53,618. Athletic fund, $229,844. The Series 2022 bonds was a 2 cents. That money needs transferred out. That was an interest earning on money that prior to there was $136 at the end of the month that I transferred out of there, and that had earned 2 cents prior to my transfer, so I've got to close that out. And then the 2023 bonds, the balance at the end of April was $7,679,062, for a total amount at Pliget of $9,720,508. Interest, or the dividends earned this month on all Pliget funds was $36,419. And that's all I have.
Okay, minute approval. Be resolved, the minutes of April 1st, 2025 Committee of the Whole, and April 15th, 2025 regular, and the April 22nd, 2025 special meetings are approved as presented. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Tom Rocco, any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, the treasurer and financial reports are there for you to see, so we have to make a motion. I'll make that motion for that.
Second.
Mrs. Jen Zenshaw, any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
You can see the enrollment reports, we're up a couple kids, hey, that's great. Okay, we'll move into the action agenda, buildings and grounds. Any report from Site Logic? Does not look like we're here, anything else? Okay, good enough. Public surplus sale, you can read it in front of you. It's basically the hold to sell for the items that we're not gonna keep, I guess, up at the high school, right?
Correct, sir.
Okay, so we'll make the motion for that.
Second.
Mr. Tom Rocco? Any questions or comments on that sale? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
change order PCO number 24. Okay, I think this is what we carried over from before. So be it resolved, the Board of Education discussed and approved the change order PCO 24 submitted by the general contractor for the steel revisions as per detail 12 note S 4.5. The new detail is adding extra decking material at a cost of $8,130.39, and a copy of this will be provided when available, I guess. Okay, going once, twice. It dies for lack of motion. Okay, change order PCO 46. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approves the change order PCO 46 submitted by the general contractor for the owner requested work to expand the sidewalk from the main entrance to the Unit H addition by approximately 2 feet at a total of cost of $9,356.00. A copy will be provided.
May I just make
Please.
a comment on that, Dr. Ruth?
Yes.
I did talk to Dave Whitmer about that this morning. You'll notice the price did come down a little bit, it was up, or it had been up over 11,000, and they were able to save some money with their concrete expenses. But Dave has also advised that he is working on an effort to be able to include all this, since they're already in that area, they're already doing paving, they're already doing this kind of work. He thinks that within the existing budget, without paying any dollars, he should be able to add this and it won't cost us anything. So we can pass the motion, and then it would only be used if he couldn't find a way to pay it all, or we could not act on it. He's okay with either. I mean, I would obviously, to be conservative, suggest we'd approve it and hope that he can get the money for it, but he did say, if they don't approve it, it's all right. He's still thinks he can find, funding for it. I'm not even sure the terminology is, but within the project budget already, there should be sufficient funding to get this done, since they're doing that right now. It's right in the same area, so it's really not a dramatic difference from what we have. So your options would be to pass it, and then hopefully we don't have to pay for it, or you could not act on it and see if we could get it for free.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I thought that they were to take a close look at this and actually have a plan for us for
What,
this.
I mean, in terms of like what it would look like? or-
Yes, I thought there was to be a sketch, because I thought I think it was brought up by, the middle school principal as to what the size was.
It
to
was
look
4
like.
feet and they reduced it to 2 feet.
Feet.
Yes.
Right,
We thought 4 feet was ridiculous.
Right,
Yes.
correct.
So 2 feet is half as ridiculous.
But the price only went down to 2,000.
yeah, and it only went down
But you
2,000.
still have to form the whole thing
Right.
out.
We have a
Well, I
motion since
understand
we're
that.
discussing.
No, we
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, yeah, I'll move. Yeah.
Okay,
We're Oh, having we a did. discussion, so we have Yeah, to move.
okay,
Sorry.
Jen moved it.
Sorry. We're Second, having a discussion, we have to move.
I'll second. There
Kevin
you go.
seconded.
Go ahead.
Miss, yeah,
Let's just vote on it.
Yeah, right, but we can't just talk about it without a motion.
Oh, yeah, Robert's rules are in.
I would be okay for it, not to exceed number in there, but, that's.
Yeah, and that's fine, you can do that, certainly. Should've given you that
As
option.
written, I'm not fond of it, so.
And I would agree with you, Norma, I'm not fond
Yeah,
of
it
it
was
that way.
11,743.62, like you said, for the other one, so.
Yeah.
It dropped about $2,000.
Yeah,
That's it.
and I'm sorry, nobody gave me a diagram, Ms. Lee, you may be right,
Okay.
I wasn't given one, so.
Well, there wasn't one included, so.
Are you okay, since you made the motion, that I read this over with a not to exceed? Okay. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approves the change order PCO 46 submitted by the general contractor for the owner requested work to expand the sidewalk from the main entrance to the Unit H addition by approximately 2 feet at a total not to exceed a cost of $9,356.
Can we make that 5,000?
A motion.
It is what I wrote, no,
I already made the
Jen made the
I
motion.
had a second.
Second by,
Already done.
I second it.
seconded
Let's
it.
vote it.
Tom can third.
Oh my gosh.
Let's roll call.
Mr. Bender?
Yes.
Dr. Krug?
Yes.
Mrs. Krug?
Yes.
Mrs. Leib?
Yes,
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Mr. Council's absent, Mr. Westrick?
Yes.
Ms. Zenshaw?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Since you put
All
in
right.
the not to exceed
The
first.
Seamless Summer Food Program is in front of you. It runs from August 11th to the 15th and August 18th to the 20th, 2025, from 11 to 12 p.m. I'll make the motion for that.
No second.
Mr. Tom Bender. Questions or comments? I think we do this every year.
Yeah, during camp.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, moving company, I think I'm gonna make a motion to table item F. So
Second.
Kevin table item, or motions to table.
I'll second
Second,
it.
Mrs. Carol Lee.
Why,
This is-
Yeah.
can I ask why?
Since there's, we can't have any comment on the table. There's no discussion on the table. It's either yes or no, so. If you want me to, I will roll call the table vote if you want.
That's fine.
Okay, roll call.
To table?
Yep.
Oh, no, I'm saying it's okay to,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's fine,
We'll let you know later.
thank you.
Okay, all in favor of the table?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Would you please bring that up in the cow, because we're gonna have more information for that, okay?
Can I have a comment? Can
Yes, sir.
we put a date on that or a time limit? We're kinda like at 11th hour with this getting them on board.
Well, our cow's June 2nd, I believe, so we're not very far away from that, okay?
It won't be any later than that.
Yeah, that'll be the latest date, okay?
Jeff, you're gonna have to move boxes yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's not, get your pickup truck and I'll meet you Saturday
I
morning.
just welded my trailer.
I'll
so
wear
it'll be
old clothes.
I have a trailer, yeah.
There you go, okay.
25,
Old
26.
clothes, I'll lose the tie.
25, 26 Ignite Substitute Teacher Agreement, you all have it in front of you. It's as per Appendix X, and Appendix 1. I will make the motion for that.
Second.
Mr. Tom Rocco?
Actually, if I may
Yes,
also
yes,
add,
sir.
one thing I should have asked the board previously, and I did not, and I apologize for that. There is a question if we wanna change our rates. Right now, we pay $110 a day for a sub, and it's $150 a day for a nursing sub. A lot of districts are raising it because of the difficulty in getting substitutes. 110, in my opinion, is pretty good, especially for this part of Cambria County. But I did wanna at least bring that to your attention and see if you wanna discuss it or consider increasing that rate.
Can we put that on the cow for the next meeting to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, once it's written, I'm sure they would
We'll go down and,
allow us to do that.
yeah.
It is the
Okay.
going rate of what most of the schools are in.
Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, I didn't say it
I
wasn't
think
that,
we're a
I think
little
it's good
competitive, we're
rate, but-
higher than,
Yeah, we raised ours just
Yeah, we
last
just did it,
year,
right.
so I think we're.
Ignite brought it to my attention and wanted to know if we had any interest, I said I'd bring it up to the board, but that's fine.
Before we move on, I have a question on that.
Yes,
If we approve this with Ignite, we pay the sub plus we have to pay Ignite a fee to get us a sub?
No, we pay that amount to Ignite and then the sub gets a
Okay.
piece of that.
So we pay 110 and the
Correct.
sub will get a piece of that?
No, there's
No,
it's added on.
Yeah, they added on,
Okay.
sorry,
So we
yes.
will
like
pay,
We're actually paying more than 110.
We're gonna pay
the
more
sub
than
gets
110.
Yeah,
We do
sorry.
already.
yeah, so if we hire them, we pay them a fee to get us a substitute.
Correct. That's
Okay,
Yeah, we actually play pretty well for
Good, Bob?
this one.
yeah, very good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, item B. This is the real estate tax proposed at the last meeting with a 1 mil increase instead of a no increase. That is item B. You can read that in front of you. I'm not gonna read it to you, so. Do I have a motion for that one? Going once? Going twice? That one dies for lack of motion. Okay, item C. This is the same one we were presented with last week with no real estate tax increase. This is a 0 millage increase, item C. Make sure I'm correct on that, yes, no real estate tax increase. Do I have a motion for that one?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Bob Westrick,
Second.
second by Mr. Tom Bender. Questions or comments? Okay, I'm gonna roll call this since this is the budget.
Dr. Crowe?
Yes.
Mrs. Crowe?
Yes.
Mrs. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Mr. Westrick?
Yes,
Ms. Zenshaw?
Yes?
Mr. Bender?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Congratulations.
Okay, now that has to be posted for the public to review and all that
Correct.
stuff now, okay?
Right.
The proposed 25-26 capital projects fund budget, I believe this is what we transfer into, from the general fund, if I remember that right. Okay.
You just wanna read that one?
Yeah, be it resolved, the Board of Education will discuss and approve the 25-26 proposed capital projects fund budget with an estimated beginning fund balance at July 1st, 2025 of $4,956,000. Total anticipated interest earnings of $20,100 and transfers from the general fund of $400,000 will make up the total available $5,376,100. Anticipated disbursements based on existing balance of contracts remaining in the consolidation project of $5,370,280, which will result in a proposed ending fund balance on June 30th, 2026 of $5,820. I'll make the motion for that.
Second.
Second, Mr. Tom Rocco. Do you have any questions or comments on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Cambria, Indiana Schools Joint Fuel Purchasing Consortium awarded bid for coal and oil. You can see that for you. I'm not gonna read it for you, but I'll make the motion for that.
Second.
Second, Mr. Tom Rocco. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed to that?
Motion carries.
Okay, I have no relations at this time.
That's good to know.
Extended school year. Extended school year, item A is in front of you. You can see that. I'm not gonna read it, but I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second, Mr. Tom Rocco. Any questions or, yes,
If I may, Dr. Cook.
Yes,
Did
sir.
want to point out, and I thank Karen for this, we did research, or really Karen did research. This is actually a substantial decrease from last year. I think we determined it was almost 50%.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Sheldon did bring this is always an expensive item, kinda makes you shake your head, but, he did manage to bring the cost down substantially from previous years. I was pleased to see that.
okay. Any questions or comments after that? All in favor? Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, dual enrollment programs. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approves continuing the dual enrollment programs offered at the high school to students wishing to take college credit courses through St. Francis and Mount Olive wishes as per appendix 2 and 3. I'll make the motion for that.
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Bob Westrick and Ms. Jen Zena. Any questions or comments on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Adelphoi Education Solutions, we do this every year, you can read it for yourself, I'll make the motion for it.
Second.
Mr. Tom Rocco. Any questions or comments on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, nothing in legislation and policy development. Summer maintenance workers. Do we have names to put in there?
There's three Lisa had sent this afternoon.
Say that again?
Lisa had sent me 3 names this afternoon.
But there were also 2 girls that
Okay, I
applied
don't know
before
about
that,
this.
so I was wondering if we could, maybe till June, so you can research a little
Okay,
further.
Can we put on the cow?
yeah,
Okay, then I'm gonna vote to table this item. I motion to table.
okay.
Okay,
So we have 5 total?
Yes.
okay, all in favor of the table?
Aye.
Anybody opposed to that? Let's put that on for June if we can, okay? Psychological services for 25-26 Acorn to Oaks, we do this every year, I believe. You can read all the stuff on there. I will make the motion for that.
Second.
Mr. Jen Zenshaw. Guys have any questions or comments on this?
Just looking at the prices to see if they've increased them or not since last year.
They did not.
Yeah, I think they're similar, very slightly.
Everybody good? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, licensed professional counselor. Be resolved, the Board of Education approves continuing the contract with the licensed professional counselor, Mrs. Susan Lockard, for the 25-26 school year at the cost of $50 per hour, 4 days a week at 6 hours per day. I'll make the motion for that.
I'll second.
Second, Mrs. Norman Krug. Questions or comment? Could you explain how that was funded?
It is funded through, is it PCCD grant, Roland, or an ESSER grant?
Yeah, we have two separate PCCD grants.
Okay.
One, there's some money available for year two of it, and there's also money available in year one of another PCCD grant for a total at this point of about $40,000. She's, has not yet billed us for the month of May, so I'm not exactly sure how much our total spend this year will be. It's around $38,000 at this point. But again, there's somewhere in the neighborhood of $40,000 available for her services.
And we will monitor that, and whenever, short, we'll take appropriate action.
Okay. All in favor?
Hold on, I have one
Oh,
comment.
I'm sorry, go
So-
ahead.
Yeah, and this is pending that our grant money covers it for one more year, but for next year, yeah, that's going to run out, so.
Okay,
and
roll
Should we
call.
put that
Oh,
in there?
I'm sorry.
Well, should we put that in there?
This is just a one-year thing.
So it will be brought back, when I see 25,
I
26.
mean, you wanna add like something like pending availability of grant funds or something?
Yeah, I think it should be, because that's what we hired upon those conditions.
This is just stated for the one school year, so next year it'll come up again.
It'll come up again.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
That was a good
For
one.
this year.
Anybody opposed to this? Okay.
Motion carries.
Okay, Director of Finance contract, be resolved, the Board of Education approves a one-year contract for the Director of Finance at a 1% increase for the 25-26 school year. The updated contract will be provided from the solicitor when he completes it. I'll make the motion for that.
Second.
Mr. Jen Zenshaw, any questions or comments?
So we don't have a copy of the contract on
No.
file?
Toby's not here today and he does not have it done. So,
Okay.
roll call.
Mrs. Krug?
No,
Mrs. Lee? No. Mr. Rocco?
Yes.
Mr. Westrick?
Yes.
Ms. Zenshaw?
No, I can't vote on what I don't see.
Mr. Bender?
No.
And Dr. Krug?
No.
Motion fails.
Staff development, nothing at this time. Student activities, band uniform disposal, be resolved, the Board of Education grants permission to dispose of 70 old band uniforms as per the request of the band director, and I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Tom Rocco. Everybody go throwing them away? All in favor?
aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, transportation, be resolved, the Board of Education approves the following bus driver substitute, or substitute bus driver for the 24-25 school year. I guess it's for this year yet, huh?
Yes.
Okay, Braden Bowser. I'll make the motion for that.
Second?
Mrs. Jen Zenshaw. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, athletics. Chestermount Golf Course. Be it resolved, the Board of Education approves the contract agreement with the Chestermount Golf Course for the 25 golf season as per Appendix 7.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Jen Zenshaw,
I'll
second
second.
by Mr. Gordon Prue. Any questions or comments on that, guys? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
All right, be resolved, the payment of the bills for the month of May 2025 be approved as presented or amended, received and filed. I'll make the motion for that one.
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Tom Bender. Any questions or comments on those guys? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Do we need an executive session, sir?
Yes, we do.
Okay. We will be going into executive session at the end of the meeting, and the only thing we're gonna be voting on is the adjournment, so we can, we,
Also about changing the date, maybe.
oh, we're gonna change the date of the next meeting though, so. We should do that, let's do that now before we go in there, okay? In order for us to comply with the state, with the viewing of the proposed budget, we have to move the meeting for next month, the regular meeting, to the following Tuesday. Okay, which is June, what day is that?
24th.
June 24th. Everybody good with that, to stay in compliance? Cause it has to be on posted for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that
I'm
works.
sure it's that day, yes, it is.
That's a Tuesday at 6 o'clock, good, same as normal, okay. So be it resolved, the Board of Education approves moving the regular meeting for June to the 24th of June at 6 PM in the boardroom. I'll make the motion. Second, Mr. Tom Bender. Anybody have any questions or comments on that? All in favor? Anybody opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay. Do you want, what items do you want placed on the cow, guys? The ones we talked about already? Okay, I think Karen already has a list of the ones we were talking about. Anything
I'd like to talk about, Mr. Pajak had sent us an email about the facility use of the high school once the school year has ended, because technically we're closing the building. I wanna discuss how we can use the building, if we're able to use the building, number one. Number two, the track, repairs to the track.
Okay, remember I sent that to you, Alan, remember about the facility usage from Dan Pajak's
Yeah.
plan?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yeah.
okay.
Is that for next year?
That's for the cow. We're
Yeah,
gonna do
for
that
next,
cow.
for next year, right, but I wanna give us time to talk about things, so.
Yeah, anything else?
I'd like to discuss the shop,
Shop. Shop issues, I'll call it.
yeah.
Is this for committee?
Well, it's for the cow meeting.
Yeah.
For the cow meeting, yeah.
Well, is there,
That's a-
do you know about the cracks in the floors in some of the classrooms
The new,
Of the new building.
of the new
of
building?
the new building,
Yeah. Well, they're there.
There's some cracks already in there.
You know they're there. You have to. And when they were asked about it, they're like, oh, it's no big deal, we'll just patch them up. So I would like you to find out why there's cracks in the new floors. The classrooms that are facing, the side entrance where you come up by the maintenance building, the classrooms on that side have cracks in the cement floors already. So,
Are they at the joints? I was told they're at the joints. Are they at the
I
joints?
think so, they go across. I didn't see them exactly, I saw
Okay.
pictures of them, but that's why I want him to check them out. But when they were asked, they said they would patch them. And there's no way that floor should be cracked already, unless the building's sinking, which is not off completely.
If they are at the joints, there can be fine cracks at the joints.
I understand, I put hundreds and hundreds of yards.
Okay,
in.
we'll
Right.
discuss
Do they have
but are they,
samples of the
aren't they,
concrete?
aren't the
new
classrooms
addition.
underneath carpet?
That they put the carpet
Discuss.
down.
I know, that's what I'm
New
asking you.
addition.
Who knows that
Floor
there's
issues.
cracks, if,
I've heard it from at least 3 people now, and so
like, teacher people?
teachers and cleaning people.
Okay, we'll say that for the,
So they're there, I just don't know how bad they are, cause I didn't go look at them, and I should,
we'll say that for the cow.
but that's something.
But I put it on to discuss addition of new floor issues.
Oh, yeah, we need
We'll
to
do
talk about that.
Okay, anything else? Okay, be it resolved, the Board of Education will enter into executive session to discuss litigation, contract, students, and personnel at 6:33 PM. I'll make the motion for that.
One second.
Mr. Tom Bender. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed to that?